The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Love Talk Show.
Let's recap on intelligent love.
Yes, let's recap on intelligent love. Tonight, as you know, as it's Thursday, tonight we had the love therapy service. But tonight we also had...
I was going to say, and...
We also had the...
Singles Hour.
Not just the Singles Hour, but the Singles Hour special.
Yes.
We had the Singles Hour special, which was really nice actually.
It was really, really nice.
I enjoyed it. In the Singles Hour, we had the hot seat. In the Singles Hour, we had some games. In the Singles Hour, we had two people who were not there. I wonder who those two people are. I'm not going to speculate.
And I wonder where they are.
I'm not going to investigate. But there were two people that I didn't see. Maybe they were in the midst of the crowd. Maybe they were in the section of the two peas on the pod.
I mean, maybe they were going around so fast. We didn't see them.
We didn't see it. Maybe. But we didn't see them. Who are these two people? Maybe it's you. Maybe we're speaking about you.
Maybe it's more than two.
Well, if you did come to the Singles Hour tonight, then please share with us your experience, how it was, how the atmosphere was. You know, if you managed to speak to someone, you don't need to let us know who, but if you managed to speak to someone, if you learned something tonight, let us know, okay? And also, you're going to please write your comments on the service. We know that not everyone came to the Singles Hour. Some people are far away, right? Mm-hmm. Some people are connecting from outside London. And I'm sure that if you could, you would have come tonight to the Singles Hour. But maybe you connected to the love therapy service in your branch. Write down what you learned. Maybe you were in the Cathedral of Miracles, live. Write down what you learned tonight. What stood out to you in the service, what you understood and what you got for yourself. Don't forget your name, your branch, the hashtag.
For those who are
single for now. And for you who are married.
I'm happy, I'm married.
I'm happy, I'm married. Right? While you write down your comments, your feedback on the Singles Hour and what you understood from the service, watch this advert and invite as many people as you can from your branch.
Do you have questions about love, relationships, or dilemmas of the heart? Well, you need not worry anymore. The Love Talk Show has the perfect segment for you, the Q&A. Send your questions to love@uckg.org and have them answered on the show.
We're going to be here together answering people's questions.
If you prefer to remain anonymous, please let us know and we will respect your privacy. Tune in to the Love Talk Show every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m.
The Love Talk Show. Live, learn, and love.
Let's learn the intelligent love.
Your question can be used as the topic of the program. Who knows? You just might be helping others in a similar situation. Sharing your questions can help you, as well as inspire and guide others facing their own love challenges. Your email could be the beginning of a journey of understanding and discovery. Don't leave your questions unanswered. Email love@uckg.org now and take part in the Q&A segment on The Love Talk Show. The Love Talk Show, helping you to love intelligently.
I think Singles Hour kind of stemmed from yesterday's competition in the new Throwback Thursday that we are having every Wednesday. Throwback Thursday on a Wednesday, yes. What do we do? Every Wednesday now, we are going to be having the previous Love Therapy, the last week Thursday's Love Therapy snippets being played on the Wednesday just as a refresher, preparing us for the next day of Love Therapy. And also, we will be checking if you were paying attention. If you were paying attention to the service, we have questions. Some people called in last night answering the questions correctly and also answering the questions for the service last week incorrectly. I'm not going to say any names. So when you are in the service, you have to make sure that you are paying attention, writing your notes, applying what you're learning, right? Just a quick recap. This is the scores from yesterday. We have Manchester powerhouse, right, with 30 points. We have Boring with 20, and we have Croydon with 20 as well. But I'm sure that
It's going to be interesting.
it is going to be interesting, this competition, right? We have Melissa from Zimbabwe. Good evening, Melissa from Zimbabwe. May God bless you. We have Miss Mary Pedro from Hackney Connected. But nobody's doing the hashtags. Someone
No,
from
I've seen
Brixton.
some hashtags.
Miss Venice, single for now. Perfect. May God bless you. Today's service was, before we speak about the service, the singles hour. How was the singles hour?
Very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually what happens in the beginning, people are warming up, so it's a bit quiet. But I heard conversation pretty much
From the
from
beginning, right?
7 o'clock.
Mhm.
It was nice to see. A lot of people were speaking. There were some activities with challenges as well. People were busy doing that. It was really nice. People came to interact.
People really, exactly, they came to interact, right? We had the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
People were bold to come to sit on the hot seat to answer the questions in front of everyone, right? We have the 2 peas in a pod,
The 2 peas in a pod.
and that's
They
a
were really
section,
in the pod.
right? What's
It
the
was
2
good.
peas in the pod? It's a section where people who would like to speak to each other can go and sit and have, a moment to get to know each other, to speak a bit more. And I spoke to some people who were there who said that they enjoyed the conversations and they would like to speak
Nice.
again. So it was really good. It was really good. And the singles hour is an investment. It's an investment. Next month's singles hour is going to be bigger and better. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for next month. Pastor, what is it? I'm not going to let you know yet. You're not going to know yet. But prepare yourself, because indeed it's going to be a blessing. Now, for the recap of the service tonight. I've heard this word before, right? Or this phrase, I am broken. I've heard this phrase before. Sometimes when people work out and they're tired, their muscles are aching, their bones are aching, they say, I feel broken. And then there are more intense moments where a person says, my heart is broken. Now, no one wants to feel broken physically speaking when it comes to a workout, right? The aching of the muscles doesn't feel nice. And more than that, no one wants to feel heartbroken. No one wants their heart to be broken. No one wants to experience a heartbreak, a heartache. But there is a breaking that we should all desire to go through. And that is the one that can break us and make us even better. And that's the breaking that God does. We were paying attention tonight to this word here in Jeremiah chapter 18. It says, the word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, arise and go to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. God told Jeremiah that at the potter's house is where he was going to hear his word. And what did Jeremiah hear at the potter's house? Let's have a look. It says, then I went to the potter's house, and there he was, making something at the wheel. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So that vessel was, how can I say? It wasn't of good use anymore. right? When when the vessel's marred, it's no longer of good use. Maybe if I can say deformed, it's not. Maybe it's even hardening. It can't be molded again. So what happened? In the hand of the potter, so he made it again into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to make. And this is very interesting, because this is what God was showing Jeremiah that he was capable of doing. We know, I don't know if anyone's ever been to a potter's house or seen even on YouTube or something, a potter forming clay. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. And it's beautiful to see what comes out of it. But there are times where we've seen that clay, being marred, being deformed. And what happens? That potter has to smash that clay again, pull it down, make it look, not even I don't know what kind of word to say, but make it look ugly again in order to form it to the way he wants it. This is how God is with us. This is what God wants to do with us. He wants to break us and mold us again, right?
Especially when it comes to love life, relationships, even for those who are single, but in relationships as well, we can see something about ourselves that we don't necessarily like, or that's harmful to the relationship. And like it was said, it's easy to say, oh no, but this is the way that I am, but you don't have to stay that way. And sometimes it's necessary to be broken, to go back to the potter's house, like we learned, isn't it? And to be molded all over again. Because if there's a vase or vase that's already made, to add something on top of it or to kind of decorate it a bit, if it can't really fulfill its purpose, then there's no point in decorating it. You have to break it and start again. It's the same thing with us, isn't it?
And how does that relate to us? Because sometimes some people become set in their ways, like clay can become set in its ways, right? And when a person's set in their ways, no one can convince them otherwise. No one can tell them that they're wrong. They're set in their ways, right? If a spouse, in a relationship says to their spouse, look, I think maybe this can be improved. I think maybe, and that person's set in their ways. They say, no, you're the problem. No, it's you. No, it's not me that needs to change. It's not something that, it's you. And when a person's set in their ways, only God can change them. Only God can mold them. And like we learned, the only way a person can be molded is when they go where? To the altar. We've learned so many times, I'm sure you who are listening tonight, you've heard that the altar is like a consuming fire, right? It's like a consuming fire. When a person humbles themselves and goes to the altar, they are saying, okay, I recognize that I need to change. And like we learned tonight, we can't change ourselves. We can't.
Another person.
And we can't change another person. But we know that the altar, the hands of God can change us if we allow him to. And this is something for both couples and singles, right? There are some people who say, no, I've been in relationship A, relationship B, relationship C and D, and everyone's the same in this relationship, so now I'm going to go for somebody else. Like we will learn today. Now I'm going to go for somebody else. Now I'm going to go for a completely different kind of person. And what happens?
It's not going to fix the problem, so nothing happens.
It doesn't. Because I can guarantee that they will go into that relationship and find something else, find another issue. But when the person says, okay, I've tried relationship A, B, C, and D, it didn't work. Where am I going wrong? God, reveal it to me. Show to me where I'm going wrong. When God shows to the person where they're going wrong, God, please help me to solve this now. I've tried, maybe even tried to solve it on my own. And this takes humility. This takes putting, a stiff-necked person. Nothing can change. But someone who humbles themselves when their head is down. If God wants it to go this way, it's easy to go. If God wants it to go that way, if He wants it to go up, it's easy flowing. God, wherever you tell me to go, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. And again, being broken doesn't feel nice. If it's the world breaking you, if you are choosing to break yourself. But when you say, like we learned in the beginning, when you say, here I am, this breaking is only to make you better. No, we have some comments here from people who were connected to the service, people who, got the Spirit. And let's read here together. From Adolf, who's from Newcastle. Good evening, Adolf. Wrote, I learned not to look for the problem in my surroundings and those around me, but to look within myself and see what I can contribute, or see what I contribute to the problem and present this to God. This is so true as well, because sometimes we look at the problem, we point at the problem, we say, this is the problem, but how do I contribute? Sometimes there are people who are good at identifying the problem, but they are not good at looking for a solution. Right? When we look within ourselves, okay, I've identified the problem is not changing. Maybe now I can say, God, help me to find a solution. Help me to help my spouse. Help me to help my the person that I'm talking to, the person that I'm dating. Being broken by God is a blessing.
Painful, but it's a blessing.
It's painful, but it's a blessing. And for anyone and everyone, this is what God wants to do in our lives. Accept, going to the potter, which is God. We have to go to Him. Accept His work in our lives. And like it says here again, let's read here verse 4 again. And the vessel that He made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. We all go to God in this way. So He made it again into another vessel, as it seemed good to the potter to make. It just reminds me of a verse that we've been speaking about. I don't know if anyone is even thinking of this verse as well. But the glory of the latter temple shall be greater than the former. When we allow God to break us, whoever we are, when we hear testimonies of people of singles who have been applying what they've been learning in love therapy, couples who have been applying, they look back, they say, I would never have imagined our relationship. I would never have imagined, what I used to be like. I would never have imagined myself to change. But they allowed the potter to mold them and to break them, or to break them and then to mold them, right? So take this for yourselves, friends. Allow the hands of God to first break you. I can't stress this enough. Allow Him to break you first. It's painful. When we learn things about ourselves, when God reveals things to us, it's painful. It's not nice to hear. The truth hurts. But after this, after He breaks, He molds us, and He molds us to a better version than we were when we came to Him, right? And only at the altar this takes place. When we have this spirit of here I am, only at the altar this takes place, and you come out a better person, right? Look what it says here from Lorraine from Boring. In order for God to use us, we have to be broken to become better servants. As we decrease, Jesus increases. Only Jesus can mold us to be humble in order for God to help us, Pastor. This is the Spirit. May God bless you all, and we look forward to seeing you. Well, we can't physically see you, but we look forward to connect with you more. And as you know, we also look forward to seeing the new pastor and wife that will be blessing us in the love therapy alongside with Bishop and Miss Elena. Have a wonderful evening, and remember, live, learn, and
love.
God bless you.